Hello, Miss, and I would like to introduce myself. My name is Westin Dimana William, and I'm from MSCC Sarawak, which taking a bachelor in international business. So for this video presentation, I would like to present uh, my report together with my partner, which is Faustina. So for this our international human resource management report that we are focusing on Finland itself. So Finland, for me, Finland is a Nordic country which are known for its high standard of living, strong welfare system, and advanced economy. It has a population approximately around 5.5 million people, and it is recognized for its innovation, equality, and the quality of life itself. So this character make Finland an interesting case of study for the human resource management. And also, did you know, Finland is one of the most world happiest country in the whole world. Uh, So, without further ado, I will explain what is the differences between domestic human resource management and the international human resource management. So, as we know, domestic is focusing on their managing employee within the country itself. As for in as for this in Finland, so this is include recruitment, training, compensation, and employee relation, which is under the stable legal and cultural environment. On the on the other hand, for international human resource management, which has a broader scope where it involves in managing the employees across the country, which have a different cultures, law, and economic system. Or there's another key differences is the flexibility itself. For domestic human resource management, it is more standardized. So we call it ethnocentric. And while for the international human resource management requires an adaptation to a different cultural expectations, especially in the communication, leadership, and employee benefit. So let me see the recruitment, training, and the compensation differences. So for the domestic human resource management, it is much simple because the companies only hire a local employee, which the employees itself are familiar with the language and the culture. However, for human resource management, international human resource management, the company must decide between hiring a parent country, host country, or third country nationals. So it for the training, it's also different. Where in Finland, they are focusing more on skills and innovation. But for internationally, employee need to have an additional training such as the cross-culture understanding with the language itself. And for the compensation in Finland are more transparent and it is based on the national agreement in contrast. Sorry, national agreements. In contrast, international compensation is more complex due to the different in cost of living, taxes, and the relocation benefits. So we see for the culture and the religion of the Finland itself. For the language for the Finland, they mostly using Finnish, which is the main language, and Swedish, which is the Sweden language, which is the official language, whether in speaking or maybe doing a paperwork itself. As for the religion, is mainly Lutheran, where the society is quite secular, but These religion are mostly influence value like equality, responsibility, and the fairness itself. So for the tradition itself in the Finland, it is famous for the sauna culture, which are both social and cultural activity itself. So I'm will talking about. So let us continue to the challenges of expanding to Finland itself. So one of the major problem or major challenge that the when trying to expanding the business itself in Finland for us in Malaysia, for us like a local nation, the expanding business is one is the legal and regulatory differences where in Finland, they have a strict labor laws and a corporate tax, which is around 20%, which might be the higher f- from other countries. This this tax could cost some of the corporate to close their companies, even though they just started, because they need to pay the tax. Then when they're opening their firm or companies, they are working for the profit to paying the tax instead of gain a profit. So there's another challenge when you're opening a business in Finland itself, which is the financial obstacles. Where when you're doing a business in international, of course you must need it the local bank itself. So when you have the local bank, you have the local account, so you can operate your business successfully and efficiently. As well as we know for Finland, their aim was to reduce their cash transaction. So this was applied in 2012, and yeah, and until now, they are advancing the economy. Their currency are stable itself, and finally, cultural differences, which cause a friction. So as we can see in an example, for instance, in Finland, the work-life balance is very important. So employees are not allowed to or not to be expected to work overtime frequently. And managers who are demand a long hours may be viewed negatively or get a bad impression of the company itself. And the next challenges are logistically and language challenge. So of the Finland itself, as we can see in the map, is ju- is creates logistically challenges because it is often considered a logistical island because most of the trade are coming on the sea transport, which is leading to the higher cost and longer delivery time. I would say they have their own airstrip or airfield for their plane, but it's not commonly used because they are located mostly in the southern itself. Sorry, not itself. At the same time, Finland also have an advanced digital infrastructure. So the business itself must adapt to the modern and paper system. Where Finland, I would say, for they're going the SDG, targeting the SDG to reduce the paper. Yeah, they use a digital, like as a digital invoice, digital uh, delivery order, and invoices. Sorry, and other more. So there's for the language barrier. Yes, it is also affecting this business. So the language barrier also affecting the communications. When because we as Malaysian, when we try to expanding business itself, we commonly use English as our main language for opening in international business, expanding our companies to the international. But however, in Finland, it much more different, where they're mostly using Finnish or Swedish languages as their main, and also all their paperwork, paperwork itself are in the Finland languages. So when you try to apply to open the business itself, it might be difficult because most of the paper, when you're doing paperwork or you're signing a contract, are in their own language, Finnish language. So to prevent this, just as I said, you need to train or hiring some local employee so that you have a smooth transaction business. And next, I would like to explain the expatriate failure. So expatriate failure is referring when an employee send employ when employees that were sent abroad cannot perform effectively or completing their assignments. This is quite costly for the company itself because the relocation and training expenses these two are both these two are considering taken by the company itself. The company pay for this the relocation and training expenses, which is when the employee didn't do well, it might costly for them and they need to return or repatriation back the employee. Also, one of the most challenging is the cultural adjustment difficulties, where the employees struggle to adapt the new work environment. So yeah, let's just say me myself, I didn't have any training, I didn't have any exposure of the work environment, of the language, of the culture. So when I was sent there without any training, without any exposure, culture exchange, I would be like, what are they talking about? And how efficient they are working time, working structure compared to when I was in Malaysia itself. So yeah, the last is the poor candidate selection, where sometimes I would say the management itself, the mistake from the management itself, where they're hiring or they selected uh, their favorable person instead of according to the assignment task itself. So, as in the conclusion, international human resource management are more complex than the domestic human resource management due it due to the global scope and the flexibility that are needed. F- Finland have the unique culture, strong welfare system, and the advanced economy, which provide the both opportunities and the challenges for business. So, how to succeed it? How the company can success? Uh, I would suggest the company must understand the cultural differences, adapt their HR practices, and prepare employee for the global assignment. That's all from me.